With that being said, what are some storylines that we would like to see in the MCU? What would we like to come see? I'm going to start with you, Mr. Jojo. What is a storyline currently in the Marvel Comics that has not been released by the MCU?
I would like to see Avengers versus X-Men.
Okay.
Civil War this and Civil War were some of my favorite comics reading, and they upset me with Civil War. So I would like to, and I know, Marvel, they were like, we're buying Fox, so now we can bring in, X-Men and Fantastic Four. So I'm sitting there thinking, as soon as I heard that, I was just like, Avengers versus X-Men.
Okay. All right. And what, how did that start anyway? Because I know, I haven't actually read, because the Avengers vs. X-Men is actually a newer incantation, and the one that I read before that was actually Ultimate X-Men versus the Ultimates, and that was in the Ultimate series or whatever. But and it was I forget what the comic was named. I think it was named War or something like that.
I think.
Yeah, and they were actually after Professor X, because Professor X had harbored a criminal, which was Magneto. So the Avengers were sent in to try to retrieve Professor X, but they were fully aware, like, yeah, these people aren't just going to let us take them.
Yeah.
So it was an all-out fight, and for the most part, the Ultimates came away with the victor in that regard, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. There's some cool imagery in there. Actually, I'll probably put some in post. But there was
like this one, like that we have up here, like Cyclops, like shooting a beam at Captain America's shield. Like, that's just like, when I think of this story, like, that's the first thing I see that comes to mind. Or having like Wolverine like rake his claws over the shield. Like, that's what makes me think of that.
Okay. So he actually had to give his shield back, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm granted. I mean, I know Iron Man still probably has it somewhere, and we'll probably see that in Endgame, which will probably be a cool moment in Endgame when he hands, the shield back. So just like, just kind of like, hey man, we had a falling out. We're cool though. We're cool. We're all that's done. We're squashed now. So. So yeah, that's a cool thing. I would like to see that. I know they could probably do it well, and the only thing is, and like you said, with Civil War, Captain America Civil War, I stand by this all the time, did not need to be called Civil War. You didn't need half of the characters in there that were in there or anything. Like, this probably was just a good movie with Captain America, Iron Man, maybe Rhodey and Falcon, and then you have them, and then the story is actually centered around Bucky, and I'm like, all right, that's enough for this whole movie to take place, and you still have that emotional fight at the end and everything, because that was probably the best fight in the movie. Look, airport fight was fun, but it made no damn sense. Sorry.
Yeah.
But it was like the best fight in the movie was at the end when you had Iron Man and Bucky and Captain America fighting. So, because that was the most emotionally driven.
Yeah.
It all built to that.
Because you see the moment of, like, is Cap going to kill Tony? Or, like, what's he going to do? And then it's just like he sends a shield through the arc reactor, and it's just like, oh my gosh, like, is he going to make it? Like,
to be honest, I was more concerned about Tony killing Cap. And that was actually my fear towards, like, I was like, are they going to... Because, Captain America technically dies at the end of the Civil War arc in the comics. I was like, is he... I didn't think he would purposefully do it, but the crime of passion type thing. Where it's just like, he's just so trying to get to Bucky that he accidentally just goes overboard and kills Cap. And I was like, oh no, is he going to do that? That's why I was more worried about that. But at the same time, I was just like, this is it. This is what the fight was. This is what this movie was building to. This is what it should have been, And then you have more time to dedicate to your villain, who I felt was a good villain. They just didn't give him any time. But that was Zemo. You had more time to dedicate to that. So I feel like with this movie, if they were going to do X-Men versus Avengers, You got to build to that. And you got, they said they're going to do anything with the X-Men for like 5 years. You got 5 years.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I would definitely, I definitely would be excited for that if they do it right. If they do it wrong, then I'm just gonna like, all right, yeah, just Infinity War was good, But all right, what about you, Hakeem? What comic storyline would you like to see come to the MCU?
I would like to see a Silver Surfer one.
Okay.
I'd like to see a Silver Surfer one. Other than Cap and Wolverine, he was in my top list of favorite Marvel characters. Okay. He's like pretty much like super OP. So it's like what is this storyline? Because like I think when he was in the Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, I'm trying to remember. Did he get his powers from Galactus, or was he just working for him, or something like that?
Well, I know.
I can't remember.
If I'm not mistaken, like he was like a slave to Galactus, and it just got to a point where he just had enough and was just like, "All right, Galactus, it's time to go head on."
Well, and this is the thing that kind of that irritates me about the second Fantastic Four movie. Was that Silver Surfer could have taken him out all along.
Yeah.
He could have taken him out when he took over, when he was destroying his world and everything. I'm like, well, Galactus, yes, Galactus gave him the board and everything. I'm like, okay, fine. That's how he gets more power. He goes to the Earth. He goes to different worlds, prepares them for Galactus to eat and everything. But then you find out at the end of the movie, it's like, oh, all you have to do is go charging into him and, give him like the super energy blast thing. I'm just like, you could have done that this whole time. and it's not until like Sue dies. Then I'm just like, all right, you could have done that this whole time. This movie could not have happened if you'd have just done this from the get-go. And you lived. Because you see him floating in space at the end and everything. He opens his eyes or whatever. But it's like, you lived, really? So that was like one of it ends with a huge plot hole there, and I'm just like, all right, this movie was already bad enough. So, but yeah, Hakeem's all about giving second chances.
Yeah, I'm very hopeful for these guys. I'm very hopeful.
Okay, yeah, and I'm not a big Fantastic Four fan. I've said this numerous times. Like, they're not my favorite. And it's funny, after Civil War actually made me dislike them in the comics anyway. I think Road to Civil War and Planet Hulk, that made me dislike them like altogether. I was like,
yeah, at least Reed Richards.
Yeah, especially him. Yeah, so I was just kind of like, all right, but I can't lie and say I wouldn't be interested enough to see what the MCU would do with it. I don't know that I'd go see the movie. I mean, if it was like, if y'all asked me, it's just like, hey, want to go see Fantastic Four? I'm like, yeah, why not? But I don't think I would go of my own volition. I'd just be like, nah. I'm just not that, It's kind of like with Hellboy. Hellboy just came out recently, whatever. And not the biggest fan of Hellboy. I like the first movie from the original with Ron Perlman.
Yeah. I
like that one. And if I saw that in the theaters, I would not have been disappointed. But, this new one, I was just kind of like, I'm just really not that all interested at all. So
yeah, and it came like at a bad time too.
Yeah.
Because you have all these other movies that are trying to come out and develop, and it's just like, okay, here's a random Hellboy, reboot.
Yeah, so like you said, the timing of it is just it just, and for Fantastic Four, it's just, like I said, for me, it's just like, I'm just not that interested in it or whatever. I mean, heck, I wasn't that interested in Daredevil until, like, literally everybody was telling me to go to watch the Netflix series. And ironically enough, when I got Netflix, it wasn't to watch that, it was to watch Flash. And then I was just like, oh, Daredevil's here, let me go check it out. And I'm just like, holy crap, this is my favorite thing right now. So it's, I have confidence that the MCU can do it and pull these characters off, especially Silver Surfer. And then, that goes back, with the Celestials and stuff like that. I mean, like, maybe you could tie him in somehow or something like that. So, because he has godlike power, so that'll be interesting to deal with. So I'm like, okay, I would like to see that. I'm not going to say I would just full on go see it, but I would like to. I think that would actually be pretty cool. I have confidence that they could do it. My pick is actually going to be, and I don't know if they'll ever do it, to be perfectly honest, but I would love to see it. But my pick is actually The Secret War. Not Secret Wars, not to be confused with the one without the S on the end. But yeah, that would be my pick to see that. And this would be more of a political type movie because you're dealing with boundaries and stuff like that. And it kind of goes into that question, what should we do? You know, what can we tell these? Because, you know, we got Scobie Accords now.
Yep.
So, and we know that the heroes technically cannot act without the permission of, I think, from the UN.
Yeah, United Nations.
Yeah. So, what if, you know, where does that boundary lie? And this is the thing, like, that Captain America was kind of hinting on. He was just kind of like, you know, what if they send us into a situation that we're not supposed to be there, or we shouldn't be there? And that is this adapting this would deal with that. You know, just saying like, okay, go in. We need you to go in and do this, and they go in and do something that's really unethical and everything, and then they have to deal with the backlash of it. So I would love to see that, and it's just because it's definitely a more serious tone, definitely a more serious movie to deal with. Like I said, I don't know that. I had no confidence that Disney would do it. I was like, y'all wouldn't go that serious. Y'all wouldn't go that political. But now that they own Fox, and they're just like, well, we can give our serious movies to Fox, and I'm just like, maybe,
and
maybe,
and I mean, and if they did that movie, they could also, you know, bring in the Fantastic Four as well.
True.
Seeing that, you know, Doctor Doom's the guy in that series, so
yeah, I mean, they could definitely exactly, because, you know, like, we know Doctor Doom, you'd have to establish Doctor Doom and stuff like that, but like, we know that Doctor Doom is, you know, he's Lord over of Latveria and everything, but we also know that his people are loyal to him, you know. So it's kind of like the dark side thing, you know. It's like when you go to Apocalypse and you have, you have the tyrannical dark side that, you know, rules over these people, but they're still loyal to him. Like, they still treat him like, you know, that this is he is God or whatever. So, but obviously, like, we look at this and it's like, no, this is wrong. This is not right. You should treat people this way. But for what, you know, like I said, for whatever reason, they've grown accustomed to it. You know, maybe it's an abundance of Stockholm syndrome or whatever. But, you know, you can do that. You can play with that. Like I said, you can. It would tackle that. Okay, where do the boundaries lie? You know, like, do we know that Doctor Doom is a tyrannical overlord and he is dangerous, but he is in his own country. He is, you know, he rules over this. He has, you know, the diplomatic, you know, rights to rule this country however he wants to rule it and everything. But we know he's dangerous. What do we do? Do we, like I said, this is the whole thing Captain America was saying this in Winter Soldier. He was like, I thought the punishment came before the crime, or after the crime, or whatever. But if he hasn't done anything, but we know he's going to, or we have just the inkling of
like that hunch.
Yeah, I was like, we think he's going to do something, or he's planning to do something. Do we go in and shut him down, or do we just let it happen and deal with the repercussions after?
You're under arrest for probable cause. That's right.